racing at night. Hey, how's it going, folks? With the release of Forza Motorsport 6 hurtling towards us, I thought it might be good to hit the brakes and push it into reverse. As Turn 10 say themselves, this is what we've been racing toward, so I'm going to take a look at how the Forza franchise has evolved over the last decade. The year was 2005 when the original Xbox saw the release of Forza Motorsport, which soon became the must-own game for petrolheads on Xbox. It was also the start of the highest rated motorsport series of all time. And right from the off, Forza garnered huge praise for its great online play, solid AI, realistic upgrade system, and a realistic damage model as well. And damage would seriously change the game as it impacted on various aspects of your car's performance, plus there was nothing more exciting than high-speed action with paint and spoiler flying everywhere. Forza Motorsport featured accurate stats and physics on all of the cars in the game, making it the first true driving simulation on Xbox. Now if you combine that with hundreds of cars, impeccable control, and a deep career mode, you have a near endless variety of racing goodness. Not to mention a 75 lap limit that meant you could have a race as long as 970 miles. You might want to stick a coffee in the cup holder for that one. Forza Motorsport also gave us a first glimpse at drivatars, although the feature was located in a game mode that was actually designed to show off the mind-bending potential of a console with a hard drive. That's right, before that it was memory cards and long load times all the way. Those were the days. In 2007, the eagerly awaited sequel arrived to our consoles. Not only did it contain over 100 more cars than the original, but it was also the first game of the series to utilize the power of the Xbox 360. Beautiful visuals, running at a rock-solid 60 frames per second for the first time, and becoming the standard for the Motorsport series, plus a tighter control setup made for a driving experience like no other. And speaking of driving experiences, players could literally get behind the wheel for the first time in the Forza series, as the Microsoft Xbox 360 wireless racing wheel was developed alongside the game to provide the ultimate driving feel. And the addition of leaderboards similar to those in Halo 2 helped drive friendly rivalry over Xbox Live with your mates. The Nissan 350Z featured on the cover, except here in the UK, where we got the Aston Martin Vanquish. That's right, James Bond's motor, although this one certainly wasn't going to disappear. Forza 2 also took the customization options to the next level, introducing a new paint mode that allowed you to design the look of your car with total freedom and minute precision. It was so good that I've got nice memories of staying up till 4 AM one work night to create the Aberdeen Football Club Subaru Impreza 22B, and it still looks like an absolute beast after all these years. And it set the foundations for an amazing community of Forza livery editors and painters, which continues to get bigger and bigger and more creative all the time. Now by 2009, Forza had gained a dedicated following of racing fans that couldn't wait to see what would happen next. The answer was a whole host of new features. You had one-button assisted driving, vehicle rollover with detailed undercarriages, drifting, drag racing, SUVs, and of course the now iconic rewind feature, saving many a gamer's bacon if they got a little excited on the apex, and has since become a genre staple. Forza has a history of making impressive entrants at E3, and that year they made headlines with the debut of the Audi R8 emerging from a sliding door right there on the stage. Alongside the cover star R8, there were hundreds more cars to get behind the wheel of, but actually see the view from them for the first time with the debut of cockpit view for all cars on the roster. Forza Motorsport 3 also marked the first chapter in Forza's longtime partnership with Top Gear, with Stig's Car Pack Garage. This highly rated installment also saw the first inclusion of Season Play as a replacement for the events list. You were offered 3 events to participate in over a 2-week period, and on the last day of the week, you got to compete in a World Championship race. Your first racing title opportunity, you didn't even have to get off the sofa. Forza Motorsport 4 was next up, and among the heaps of new features, colossal car collection and seamless driving experience was a whole new way of experiencing Forza's unique attention to detail, Forza Vista. Forza Vista allowed players to get a panoramic view of their car's minute details such as brake pads, engine components, and interior details as well. The player can point at certain features for further information about them via audio recording, or just stare in awe at the beauty of what nature has created. These Forza Vista cars were actually an early draft of the car specs we now all enjoy on the Xbox One, and they all feature over 1 million polygons apiece, high-resolution textures and advanced material shaders, all the stuff that is now totally standard in Forza Motorsport 6. That is evolution in action. We also saw the introduction of the much-loved Rivals mode here with player challenges in asymmetrical hot lapping races. Again, all standard stuff now in Forza Horizon 2 and Forza Motorsport 6. Turn 10 Studios also took this opportunity to partner properly with BBC's Top Gear to do voices for descriptions, race titles, and the new Forza Vista mode. Players had access to the iconic Top Gear test track to see what lap time they could muster. Not that I would call a Bugatti Veyron Supersport a reasonably priced car exactly. And all of this required one hell of an epic trailer to do it justice.
It is the last bastion of automotive lust. And it's right there in your living room.
Having got the mechanics of Forza down to a T, Turn 10's next step was to let players stretch their wheels and hand over the keys to UK developer Playground Games. Forza Horizon was announced as the first new expression of the Forza series in 2012. It offered the authenticity and realism of the Forza series in an open world environment with new mechanics such as the street cred skill system, day-night cycles, and AI traffic. That's right, driving was now no longer limited to roads, as players can go off-road across fields and woodland areas in pursuit of shortcuts and just general pleasure. Races aren't always with other car drivers either, as special events put you against other interesting opponents like helicopters and airplanes in showcase events. And being the first open world racer of the series also allowed for new mechanics such as barn find cars, unique, often retro vehicles that could be found hidden across the map and added to your collection once discovered. Just don't try it at your local barn, because I did it and all I found was an unhappy farm. The banging electronic soundtrack curated by Rob DeBank really got you riled up for racing across the Colorado landscape in between all those festivals, which certainly looked a lot less muddy and smelly than any festival I've ever been to. I'm looking at you, T in the park. The fastest selling racing game in Xbox history is a title that should give some indication to how excited players were to see Forza Motorsport 5 appear as a flagship launch title for the Xbox One. Fun fact, flagship was actually the code name for Forza Motorsport 5 when it was in development. How about that? And Forza Motorsport 5 looked so good that for me it was the game I'd break out to show my mates and my family what my shiny new Xbox One console could do. By February 2015, more than a third of Xbox owners had bought the game since its release 4 months prior. And maybe it was the exclusive Day 1 edition livery and custom tuning pack that got everyone excited, or the inclusion of open wheel cars including the DW12 and Formula 1 cars brought to life by the power of Xbox One. Whatever the reason, Forza 5 continued its ascendancy as the premium Xbox racing title, and even arrived with an awesome mini documentary made in conjunction with McLaren Automotive and legendary racing and stunt driver and all-around wonderful man who I have a massive man crush on, Tanner Faust. They helped film a short documentary titled Film Speed, and you can check it out here. But my favourite feature in Forza Motorsport 5 was that it brought back drivatars in an all-new way. Your drivatar opponents are now based on your friends' real-life tendencies and their real-life racing styles, which means you've got to watch out if you've got someone like me on your friends list, because my drivatar is a beast. After Forza Motorsport 5, the most recent taste we have to satisfy our car cravings is a return to the open world beauty only Forza can conjure. Forza Horizon 2 moved out of the States and jumped across the pond to Europe this time around. The festival was held in southern France and northern Italy, bringing with it some of the most stunning settings you can ever imagine cruising through. Horizon 2 is roughly a whopping 3 times the size of its predecessor and features a dynamic weather system that provided an atmospheric experience like no other. While the stunning vistas and rolling landscapes were still present, that didn't mean you couldn't roll with a bit of muscle. The Fast and the Furious expansion included 11 new cars straight from the movie, and even had Ludacris guiding you along as the voice of the Fast Cruise mechanic. Old Vin would be very, very proud.
There isn't much this guy can't do with a car, trust me.
And while Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon have been going from strength to strength, so too has the incredible Forza community. From hardcore racers like the Tora community, TX3 Liège, Team BAM, Raceboy77 and Stella Stig, drifters like the Slap Train, TC9700, AR12 Gaming, showboats like Domestic Mango, painters like Stuzy B85, Filthy Piehole, Greens and AB Graphics, and photographers like Apparently God, Bad Driver, Seps 1974, Lethal Drift, and Knights Viper. The Forza community has it all, and it's all good. So there you have it. Every addition to the Forza franchise has led to where we are right now, eagerly awaiting the release of Forza Motorsport 6. We all got to see the Ford GT make its dramatic descent from the rafters at E3 this year, and we've heard about all the new features like racing in the wet with 3D rendered puddles and aquaplaning, the game's new single-player campaign mode named Stories of Motorsport, which brings over 70 hours of gameplay content, the inclusion of Forza rewards, which will gift you with dedicated cars and extra credits when the game lands, racing at night on iconic tracks like Le Mans and Sebring, and it's all available at a stunning 1080p and 60 frames per second. Forza Motorsport 6 is out on September the 18th here in the UK. It's exclusive to Xbox One. If you've enjoyed this video, drop us a like. Make sure you subscribe to Xbox UK for more content like this. And if you're a fan of Forza Motorsport, I would love to hear your favourite Forza memories in the comments below. I'll see you on the track on September 18th. Until then, see you later.